Well, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to the Fanatical Elfz Browns pregame show as the Brownies are in Vegas to play the Raiders. Welcome. I'm John Suchan. That is Steve Gill. How are you, Steve?
I'm doing well. It's been raining and drizzling nonstop since Thursday night, which is good news for us because we have had some serious drought. It rained more in the first 24 hours of this hurricane than the entire month of September averages. That's a lot of rain. It really came down overnight Thursday, but it's been
Thursday night
kind of misting and drizzling today. So hopefully I have to run outside and vacuum my car. So hopefully I'll be able to do that here when we're done.
Yes. Well, the Browns are out in sunny Vegas, and it looks like the fans are there in droves. I was complaining on the Johnny Cleveland show just a few minutes ago that I'm excited that they're all there, but I don't expect it to be. I mean, there's a lot of Raiders fans, obviously, and it's a home game. It would be nice to say that they give the Browns an advantage, and maybe they give the team a boost because the Browns really do need a boost going into this game. There's a lot of things
or the boot,
or
both.
Yeah. So where do you want to start? Let's start defense first. Myles Garrett, the injury on his side, he's going to play through all these things that he's dealing with which is, I gave him credit on my show a few minutes ago, just saying how, he's come so far with his maturity and trying to lead the team. And I really appreciate that, but I can't see this guy making it through a 17-game season. I'd love if that's the case, but what do you think about Myles right now? Just in general?
Well, they're not serious injuries or they would have shut him down. Real serious injuries, or they would have put him on IR.
Yeah.
So it sounds just like normal aches and pains that a football player, kind of like me when I get up in the morning. I wake up and go, but I continue my day.
Right.
Even though I'd want to go on IR, I don't. So, as long as he feels good enough to play, and he contributes, which he did last week while injured.
Yeah.
He was the highest graded defensive lineman. So what I want to see is I want to see the middle of the line kind of step up. I know Quentin Jefferson had a sack last week, but I want to see Damian Tomlinson. I want to see this would be a good game to. I know Alex Wright had that safety down in Jacksonville, but I'd like for him to have a big game. I'm happy to see that Jordan Hicks practiced on Friday, the middle linebacker, so that's good.
Yeah.
Defense, you got to know where Trey Tucker is at all times. He's that fast little receiver that drives the Browns crazy. So, and the tight end. Got to cover the tight end. I don't know if Delpit or JOK can do that. I just hope they can slow him down a little bit. How about that?
Right.
And Georgia probably could have used him last night against Alabama. Just saying.
Oh, that was such a terrific game. We talked, not to change the subject, but we saw some great wide receiver play. The kid from Alabama, 17 years old, just amazing, multiple catches. And then, our Ohio State Buckeyes up here with the new kid Smith.
Jeremiah Smith.
I mean, here, right?
He's incredible.
I mean, Lord.
Oh my God, that touchdown pass was like, it just amazes me. His talent.
Did you see the sequence at the end of the Georgia game?
No.
Did you see the end of the Georgia-Alabama game?
No.
It was amazing. Georgia just takes the lead late, which was amazing because they were down 27-0 or something like that early. They fought back, took the lead, and literally on the next play, they throw the ball to the kid Williams from Alabama, who amazing catch, and then he has the
I saw the highlight on social media.
Juked two guys out with an amazing move, and then ran the rest of the way into the end zone. Just some really exciting plays there. Two good teams. Georgia will be back. Alabama, give them credit. They played a hell of a first half and held on. Ohio State beat. We're not talking about that with the Browns today, but they did get a good win against the Michigan State Spartans. All right. So defensively, I'm not too concerned about. I mean, I think the Browns come to play and their defense, is energized, and hopefully Jim Schwartz is, talk to these guys and really, does a better job of coaching. I think the defense will keep us in this game. Jordan Hicks, I like Jordan Hicks a lot. I think he's a good veteran for this team. It seems like he's done some good things. I was really and I know these things happen in games, but I was saying how embarrassing, and I don't know if you agree with this, but the whole sequence at the beginning of that game when Greg Newsome hit the guy high and they called the penalty on him, and they had the penalty flag. Greg Newsome even saw the penalty flag, and then for the whole team, the defense, to go celebrate like they did, it's kind of an embarrassing moment. I thought. I mean, you look back at it, and maybe players weren't unaware of the flag, but Greg Newsome saw the flag, and he even participated in that celebration. I want them to celebrate, but sometimes they just, I think they overdo it, but that's just me, maybe. What do you think about that?
I don't care.
You don't care.
I don't care. I don't. I mean, I don't strut around here and dance every time I complete a tax return, but
Well, you should, damn it. You should.
Well, I usually do when somebody pays me. Now that's totally different. If they hand me a check, I'm woo. Yeah.
Well, okay. Where the big concern right now, the talking points are the offensive line, the injuries, Deshaun Watson and Kevin Stefanski's play calling, and Ken Dorsey being the offensive coordinator. What are you looking for today in this game? What do you hope to see from all of that? What are you hoping to see?
Simple
for the Browns to get a win.
Effort and execution. That's all I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the effort they had in the first half of Jacksonville for the entire game. Because they had 3 drives, three scores. That's what you asked for. So that's what I want to see the whole game. Effort and execution. If Stefanski calls the plays and they execute the right plays and there's effort on those plays, they're going to win. Simple. It's not rocket
I know you
science.
Probably weren't bothered by
I know we should probably call Elliot, but it's not rocket science.
Well, that's what I said too, but so the 37 passes and 12 handoffs to our running backs last week. I know that the Browns were losing, but they weren't losing right away. I felt like the balance of play calling there was poor.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that Foreman gets some more touches, considering, and I don't know what happened last week. I don't know why Stefanski does this sometimes. And we've even talked about this with when Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt were available, and thinking that there would be games where they would be given the ball and they weren't, or the distributions between Chubb and Hunt, in the past, Hunt might only get 4 or 5 carries when we thought maybe he'd get 9 or 10. I don't know. This is the part of the decision making on Stefanski that really annoys me most weeks. I don't know how you feel. What do you think about that part of the game? What do you want to see there today? What do you think we need to do?
You got to run the ball. You have to. You got to keep defense honest. Oakland is terrible. They're not really that good defensively all around, against the run, against the pass, overall.
Yeah.
So if you run the ball and did a squirrel go by there, John? I saw that head go real quick.
I know, the squirrel.
But just if they can establish the run, and that'll free up the passing game. And I know Kevin Stefanski knows that, and he can't give it up on it. And Oakland is going to put 8 in the box and tell the Browns, you gotta run the ball on us to win. So let's run the ball on them. I mean, it's that simple. It's not like, like I said, it's just run the ball. I was really surprised after all the injuries and the heavy set scheme that they used first in Jacksonville to get the run going. I was really, really surprised that they didn't pick up a fullback this week. I mean, is Ricci on somebody's practice squad? Giovanni Ricci, the fullback they had, he's a fullback / tight end. I really thought, well, man, this would be the perfect time to bring him back.
Yep.
Guy blocks like a maniac. So I don't know. We'll see.
I agree. I lost my thought. I had another thought for you on a follow-up question.
Squirrel.
It was that damn squirrel. No, okay. So I know you weren't annoyed by the whole decoy comment by Deshaun, and I know
it's a great bottle of wine. They make a hell of a Chardonnay. If you like Chardonnay,
it's just such bull. I'm sorry. I mean, fans are annoyed because he's using these comments, and I guess it's just that, and then you compilate or you add in, like, I think Amari Cooper and talking about the reporters asking silly questions this week. And then I think it was maybe Rod Bloom, our colleague who does the Browns Blitz, who maybe made a comment to us in one of our textings that this team, or maybe he even wrote about it, that the Browns themselves, like, there are years where we really like these teams for certain reasons and we like the players. And it just seems like this year that the team, they're off to a bad start. But we're trying to find something as fans to kind of hold on to and grab onto as far as, why we're rooting. Yeah, Steve?
I mentioned this in my Dog Pound South podcast on Monday.
Yeah.
When my wife and I go to our family place in Pennsylvania, we either will drive through Ohio on the way up or on the way back or something.
Yeah.
And it's always late August, and we're coming back, and she all of a sudden said, are people in Cleveland excited about the Browns? And I said, well, it's Cleveland Browns. So, we
right.
Of course. And she goes, well, since we've been driving, we only saw one Browns thing, a helmet magnet on the side of a van, and that was in Pennsylvania before we even got into Ohio. And we didn't see anything, no bumper stickers, no window clings, no flags. And I read some guy wrote, he said, fans will always love the Browns. They just don't like this team. And I thought, that's perfect. That's perfect. The enthusiasm for this team just doesn't seem to be there. And they don't have an identity. Last year, we all got excited because they kept winning with different quarterbacks. Didn't matter which quarterback it was, PJ Walker, and they had exciting games. They could have gone either way. The luck of the football was falling the Browns' way. San Francisco misses a kick. Greg Newsome gets a pick six from the NFL MVP in Baltimore.
Right.
I mean, and it goes.
And then they finish with Joe Flacco.
And then I don't care about Joe Flacco. 14% turnover percentage. That's the highest.
No, but you don't get to the playoffs without him, though.
We're not going to get into the Flacco thing. Then you go into Indianapolis. PJ Walker, I mean, he comes in, and if it isn't for two penalties in the end zone, Hunt isn't scoring on the last play of the game. I mean, it's just the way the last season, the excitement, you always thought they were going to be in it at the end. Even the Denver game, even the Rams game, everybody was on the edge of their seat thinking, they can still.
You're not giving any credit to Flacco Mania?
What?
You're not giving any credit to Joe.
That's added to it.
That's a big part of it at the end of the season.
Well, I know he's playing terrible teams until he played the Jets, and boom, that was the season highlight, is that game against the Jets. Because then they went and lost to Cincinnati playing backups, and then they got
the guy was sitting on his couch and comes in and starts throwing the ball for 400 yards. That's wonderful.
I'm sure Carolina feels the same way about Andy Dalton right now. They're getting ready to build him a statue outside the stadium.
Steve, don't you think that part of
there are these types of moments in every football season?
Here's what
last year it happened for the Browns.
Okay, here's my theory, and you can disagree with it. You probably will, and it's just off the cuff because that's what I do. But what if the reason we're not liking this team, it comes down again to Deshaun Watson, and here's why. This is why I'm saying this, because a third of the fan base who have been Browns fans left when they signed Deshaun Watson for a variety of reasons. Okay,
I don't know if it was a third.
Okay, let's say 1/4.
I would say maybe about 15%.
Well, I talk to people every day who say, I love the Browns, but now that they have Watson, I just can't root for them. And I hear more of that from fans than you'd think, at least with people that I'm around. Okay, so I'm just saying the fact that he got injured, he had some highlights early in the last year, but then it was this thing that you said where you just described how all these other quarterbacks were coming in and doing all this fun stuff. Now we're back to reality. Chubb is still not back because we always love Chubb. And now we're off to a rough start. So now we're blaming Watson. And then Stefanski, who continues to say the same damn thing after every press conference. It's my fault. It's my fault. I've got to correct it. I'm the coach. Okay, great, Kevin. But we're tired of hearing that. And that's what you're hearing from fans now. And that he's calling these play calls. Why can't he give up the play calling? And even you've talked about that.
Yes.
To give up the play calling. I guess
Ken Dorsey called Ken Dorsey's offense.
Right. I guess that's why this team is in, we need to find something, hold on to something. Now, the fact Chubb, it sounds like he's coming back to start practicing next week. What do you think that means for this team and his return?
I still say it's going to be week 7. They got a 3-game homestand before the bye.
Okay.
Why put him on in Washington or in Philly? Let's just let him practice, and so he's available for practice. That doesn't mean he's available to play.
Right.
So I would take your time with him.
Okay.
Let's not get him hurt.
No. Well, let's pause for a quick break, Steve, and then we'll come back and we'll get our final takes before the game starts today at 4:30 or 4:25. 3:30 your time.
I get it an hour earlier.
He's so special. All right, folks, we'll be right back on our pregame show. And we're back here. Dogs barking in the background. We're having fun here.
Yeah,
on the
that was my dog.
Woof, woof.
That's my dog, Scout.
Right. That's right. We have an extra dog at our house today. My daughter and her boyfriend are here traveling, and they have their dog named Whitman, and so he's been staying with us. Nice dog. We have a lot of good we don't have any grandchildren yet, Steve, but we're got a lot of grand dogs. So I've got a little tickle in my throat right now. Try not to cough. But so this game today, Steve, what are your final thoughts? Like, where do we go? How do the Browns win this game?
Run the ball, protect Deshaun Watson. On defense, pressure up the middle. They don't have to get sacks up the middle. But if you put a good amount of pressure up the middle on Minshew, that'll let Deanne Smith and Garrett go against 2 very, very bad tackles and force Minshew to hold the ball too long. And also get him on 3rd and long. Constant. Get him on 3rd and long. Let him make mistakes, and he'll make mistakes. But you got to contain him because, he takes off. He did it against us last year.
He did.
The Browns last year, the Colts game, scored 2 touchdowns.
He did.
Had 2 rushing touchdowns. And but hopefully the defense will step up, and hopefully the offense will show effort and execute and be efficient. How about it, guys?
Yes. I'd like to see Martin Emerson get an interception. He's been close several times this season. Or Denzel Ward grab 1 or 2.
Yeah, they both have dropped
several.
So that would be nice. Win the turnover battle. I'd love to win the turnover battle.
And it looked good early in that game last week. We got the turnover right off the bat, and I think it was an even 2-2 by the end of the game. But Browns have been close defensively. Man, if they could play really well, like you said, and give that kind of effort, execution defensively, in that first half like they did against Jacksonville, we'll be in really good shape, I think. But it's tough to win on the road wherever you're at. It's the NFL. Last time they won a game was 2012 out there in Vegas or in Oakland. The last time before that was 2006. So it's been a while. They should have beaten them back in 2018, lost 45-42 in a high-scoring affair where the Browns got a fumble, but the referees, for some godforsaken reason, couldn't figure that out and blew. Actually, I mean, it was one of the main reasons that the team lost that game. But that was the game that we got to see Nick Chubb for the first time. Three carries for 105 yards, 2 touchdowns, amazing stuff. Unfortunately, the next 2 games, Hugh Jackson put him back on the bench. Unreal. I'm glad they finally got rid of him, Hugh Jackson, that season, and let Nick Chubb do his thing. I think the first time, didn't they fire him after that 2 more games? And then I
believe so. And
I think
Chubb started getting was the interim coach. He went 8-3. He went 5-3 as the interim coach, Greg Williams.
Yeah, Greg Williams was interesting. Did you hear Greg Williams' take before we leave about Watson earlier in the week and Stefanski? He was complaining like I do about
earlier in the week. I was in North Carolina, so
on the sideline on radio programming, he was talking about how he was not impressed with Watson's body language and Stefanski and how they're working together, and that Deshaun on the sideline with a white towel over his head, not interacting very well. In Greg Williams' opinion, that's what he said. So. We'll see.
Maybe it should be an orange towel or a brown towel. Maybe
right.
I'm just saying. You know,
oh, Steve.
Maybe a big towel, beach towel. You know, with like little island with a palm tree and an umbrella. You know, something like that. That would work.
Well, the Brownies take on those Raiders this afternoon at 4:25 Eastern, 3:25 Nashville time, because Nashville has a special time zone there. It should be a lot of fun. We are going to have we'll have a post-game show. It might just be me. It could be Steve. We'll see who else signs us. Rain or shine, win or loss, the Browns are we're going to get it. If we can bring it all together, Steve, I think we get a win today, but it's going to be tough for all those reasons that we talked about.
And don't be surprised that there are more Browns fans than Raiders fans. I heard a beat writer for the Raiders this interview, and he says, the tickets are very, very expensive, and Raider fans don't like to go. Last week, he said it was 45% Carolina fans.
Wow.
So that tells you all you need to know about their fan base right now.
Being in Vegas, too, it's a popular destination anyway, so this adds
Let's hope Coach Antonio Pierce of the Raiders makes a quarterback change in the second quarter, because if he does that, things are not going well for the Raiders.
Yes. All right, Steve, take care. Go Brownies. We'll talk to you guys later.
Go Browns.